this kind of brings us to our topic this week. Fuel cost, fuel prices, fuel surcharges, all that fun stuff. We're kind of going to get it into perspective here, if I can get everything to open up like it's supposed to. All right, let's give this a shot. Now, fuel surcharges are designed to adjust the rate being paid to a carrier when the fuel goes up and down. Okay, when a trucking company goes into a customer and they sit down at the negotiating table and they start hammering out the contract, they're going to hammer out their line haul. Line haul is the basic charge to move the freight from point A to point B. Then everything else starts getting added to it. Accessorial pay, fuel surcharge. Now, years ago, you've probably heard me say this, I wasn't a big fan of fuel surcharges. I stood the position years ago that rate per mile should be equal to the price of a gallon of fuel. So in other words, if diesel's at 45 a gallon on average, that should be the going rate. Obviously, that has some flaws in it, but you get the idea. Truck gets 7 miles per gallon, 6 to 7 miles per gallon. They're making, well, I rounded up, say $5. That's that's $30 every gallon of fuel they burn. They're making for the trucks. Okay, kind of makes sense. But anyway, obviously that's a quick fix to the idea, and there are other things that should be taken into consideration. Now, there are fuel surcharge calculations, and the way trucking companies do it, they go in, they hammer out the contract, then they start calculating fuel surcharge. And how do they do that? Well, here's a form that kind of gives you an idea. Let me bring it up here a little bit bigger. Oop, a little bit too big. All right, so now using this example up here, it says an average price per gallon of diesel, $3.59. That was, what, last week? 2 weeks ago? Anyway, $3.59 a gallon. All right, so how do we figure out the fuel surcharge? Well, if fuel is $3.59, we come down here in the chart, and we find where $3.59 falls. And $3.59 falls, I'm not going to be able to show it. You can't see my mouse. But if you look on the right column, it says 3.550 to 3.599. Fuel surcharge is going to be 24%. Give you time to locate that. All right, so if fuel surcharge is 24%, what we're going to do is add 24% to the line haul. So if we had a line haul of $1,000, 24% of $1,000 is going to be $240. That would be the fuel surcharge. So the total rate to the customer, line haul plus fuel surcharge, is going to be $1,240. Okay, that makes sense. See how that works? And every trucking company, they may be using a different form or whatever, but this kind of gives you an idea. Matter of fact, we took this form from an actual trucking company's contract that they had with their customers. Okay, so this is actual, and you see it goes up to $4.89.9. We're at it. Right now, diesel is at 45 a gallon. We're at the top of the fuel surcharge. 37% fuel surcharge. So if we're at 37%, this $1,000 line haul, the fuel surcharge would be $370. I'm using simple math here, simple numbers, keep it easy. So if it's $370 at 37%, that means the total rate to the customer is going to be $1,370. Now here's the problem. All right, if you do not have a contract with a shipper, you're going to have heck to pay trying to get the rates up. Because I know it. There are trucks out there. I know it just as sure as I'm sitting here and you're listening. There are trucks out there that are not taking this information into consideration. So if the fuel surcharge, well, let's say fuel surcharge, let's say the rate, let's say the, I got to open up my calculator. Should have had this done already, but I wasn't thinking about it. Let's say the line haul is $2.50 a mile. Okay, it's $2.50. Okay, fuel surcharge at 37%. That's going to add 92.5 cents to it. So you got 0.925 plus 2.5. You're up to $3.42.50. So you might as well call it $3.43 a mile. See what I mean? Trying to get a shipper to go from $2.50 to $3.43 a mile. Man, you'd have luck pulling a live grizzly bear's tooth. Because what the shippers are going to do is keep the rates low for as long as they can, because they're hoping to find somebody that's going to haul it for the old rate. If you're a trucking company, you can't do this. If you are doing this, you're making it bad on everybody, because that's going to keep that customer from going up. It's going to slow them down. This is exactly what happened in 2008. What do I expect to happen next week? I expect the average to be probably over $5 a gallon, because things are not going to happen quick enough. Now, getting back to the fuel cost, fuel surcharges and such. Now, how do they determine? Is it state by state? No, I hear people thinking that it's state by state. No, you're taking the USA average. Okay. Now, the EIA, Energy Information Administration, every Monday, they post the gasoline and diesel fuel updates. Here it is. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you so you can see. All right, so there's gasoline. You see the U.S., and it breaks it down. It says less California. California's in a class of its own. But anyway, you got the U.S., and this is what a trucking company is doing when it's calculating fuel surcharge. It's not going state by state, taking it as an average. Now, this is gasoline, though. It has nothing to do with diesel. We'll get to diesel in a moment. But it tells us a year ago, gasoline is $1.33 higher than it was a year ago. So, a year ago, we were still in the $2.70 bracket. $2.80, something like that. Change from a week ago, it's up almost 50 cents, 49.4. So it tells you what it was. February 21st, fuel was $3.53 a gallon, or gasoline, I should say. Then $3.61, you might as well say. Then day before yesterday, when they posted the average, $4.10. So an increase of 49 cents. That's gasoline. Yeah, that we all have gasoline we got to put into vehicles. Do like my wife does. Probably what I'm going to do too. Putting gas in today at half a tank instead of waiting until you get empty. So sticker shock don't blow you away. Buyer remorse. All right, here's what the trucking companies are looking at. The on-highway diesel fuel prices per gallon. All right, a year ago, fuel was $1.71 cheaper, $1.70. All right, we'll keep it at $1.70. So if it's, the average is 44 today, well, it should be 45, 40, I'm just rounding up and down. All right. 8.5, subtract $1.71. A year ago, it's 3.14. Now, if we went into history, pulled these up a little bit more, and instead of just being a year ago, go back 12, 13, 14, 16 months ago, we're probably at 260, 270, something in that ballpark. Because if you notice, these prices started shooting up immediately after the election. Now, so this is what trucking companies are working at right now. They're working off 44, 45, and then we go back to fuel surcharge chart, and you figure out the percentage of the markup, and that's how they're determining the fuel surcharge, if that makes sense. Now, if you want to see this, I mean, there's links to it. Matter of fact, if you are a Tautoa client, you've got a link to it in the Insider. But you can just go to EIA.gov. It's /petroleum/gas diesel. / obviously. Then you can find that information. All right. It's just nuts. There's no reason fuel should be this high. None. Now, if you're a trucking company, you've got your own customers, yeah, you've got this all taken care of because you're protected. This is why it's so important that a trucking company has their own customers. So they can go in and negotiate this kind of stuff, when they start working. The broker, understand the broker cannot get we can sit here and talk to the customer and say, hey, look, they know, but understand the reason they're not going up is, one, somebody's still hauling it for the old rate, so why go up? Two, they want to wait and see. What a lot of you, if you're a broker right now, what you may be experiencing is some of your customers that have been making freight available to you every day, it's kind of stopped. And the reason it stopped is because they don't want to have to pay more to have the freight transported, because they have a pretty good idea. Yeah, a penny here, a couple of pennies there, they don't worry about it this much, but a 74.5-cent increase on diesel in a week, pretty much overnight, if you want to get right down to it. Okay, that's a game changer. They know that it's got to kick in immediately. They can't horse around. Now, there's another problem here we got to look at, is that these manufacturers, these customers are selling their product to their customer. When they sold that product, they probably included transportation charge. Now, the smart ones probably have some type of a fuel surcharge system set up with their customers. Now, what happens there is their customers either pays it, and if they, and they're going to have to pay to be able to keep stock on their shelves. All right. And if they pay it, that price of that cereal you buy, coffee you buy, it's going up. You see how it's all coming back? It all stems from this transportation. This is why this has got to get under control. This is why, hey, I'm all for green, but common sense. We can't just turn off the spigot because you want to go green right now. When Elon Musk is out here saying, hey, I own Tesla. I own an electric car company. It's to my benefit that we sell cars, but I'm telling you right now, the government needs to get off the pot, so to speak. Anyway, you kind of get the idea, right? Now, this is what you got to look out for. Trucking companies, you know what to look out for. Brokers, you've got to get your customers to go up. And that's going to be like talking to a brick wall. Until the trucks refuse to haul it, they probably won't go up. Some might, because this has just never happened before. These kind of prices, this kind of a jump has never, ever, ever happened before. And the thing is, take a look. Like I showed you on the fuel surcharge sheet we've got. 489 is as high as it goes. That's it. This is from an actual trucking company. Now, granted, it's a few years old, but who would have thunk that we'd be looking at this kind of price again? So this is going to put us in territory never before experienced. How's it going to work out? Who knows? Who knows? Going to keep an eye on it, though. Everybody's looking at it. Pretty crazy. And the finger pointing up in Washington's got to stop. The it's not our fault mentality has got to stop. The buck stops with you. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about you and you and you. I'm talking about Pennsylvania Avenue, you. The buck stops there. Fix it. Quit being stubborn. My name is Mike. I'm the lead consultant at Taltoa. We've been in business over 25 years. We train, consult transportation companies. Our specialty is working with freight brokers, those that want to become freight brokers, maybe as a freight broker agent, trucking companies and such. Our training includes in-depth training. It's live or on demand. No travel. All of our training, it doesn't matter what package you choose, as far as with the consulting packages that include placement and consulting. The full packages, they all include the essential training for working as a freight broker. That essential training is how to find potential customers, prospecting, how to find them, how to contact them, what to say, how to make a sales call, how to respond, how to calculate rates, how to negotiate, how to find trucks, how to work with the trucking company, how to negotiate, how to do load confirmations, how to work with TMS. TMS is short for Transportation Management Software, a real fancy name for, Transportation Management System, a real fancy name for freight broker software. We go through all the essentials for day-to-day operation, including legal and contracts. Now, if you want to start out as a freight broker agent, you can enter our mentorship program. That's included. The length of time you can be in the mentorship program, that depends on the package, 3 to 12 months. Now, what is the mentorship program? The mentorship program is where you'll be placed through us under a licensed broker so you can begin your broker operation, start putting to use what you've just learned. That's going to allow you to get both feet on the ground, start gaining experience, start building a customer base. Well, what about that customer base? What happens to that customer base when I complete the mentorship program or leave the mentorship program? They're your customers. They go with you. Simple as that. After you complete the mentorship program, you have the option, if you've been working, to get a direct contract with Taltoa Logistics as a freight broker agent. Matter of fact, in the mentorship program, what the mentorship program is, it's consulting, but giving you the opportunity to begin your broker operation as an agent under a licensed broker, because you got to be with a licensed broker to be a freight broker, obviously. Either have your own license or be working under somebody's license. Now, when you complete the mentorship program and you move over to Taltoa, you're going to be a full-fledged agent. I mean, you're going to have a direct contract, broker-agent contract. People get a little weird when you start talking about contracts. No, freight broker-agent contract is just setting the relationship up between you and the broker as an independent contractor. You are the independent contractor. That way, at the end of the year, you're getting 1099. If you make $1,000 this week, you're going to get paid $1,000 this week. See what I mean? Now, I said $1,000. Don't go off the deep end thinking you're going to start making $1,000. No, you're paid on commission. Commission is the difference between what the customer agreed to pay you to move a load and what you agreed to pay the truck. Commission in the mentorship program, 60% of net. Net is the profit on the load. So if there was a $400 profit on the load, you're going to make $240. Okay, makes sense? Now, again, the mentorship program is consulting with the added benefit of not having to go out here and find a broker to contract to. It's built in. When you exit the mentorship program and move forward, either to contract direct with Taltoa, maybe move on to another company as a freight broker agent, maybe to start your own freight brokerage, that's when your consulting period kicks in. The consulting period, and even in the mentorship program, when you're in the mentorship, the consulting is still available to you. That's where we are here to help you, answer your questions, provide recommendations. In the mentorship program, we're watching you real close, making sure you're crossing the T's, dotting the I's and such. But your consulting period continues on for a period of 3 to 12 months, depending on the package you chose. So check them out. Check it out at Taltoa.com, TALTOA.com. You can call me direct, 479-668-0838.